And with that, I shall hand over to
Who's
David.
that guy?
Thank you very much.
All right, welcome, David.
Thanks, David. It's all yours. Let me
Thank
stop
you
my-
very much. It
Yeah.
is a pleasure to be here. And the first one is called App Privacy Report. Now, some of you who may be more tech and geeky like me might have some fancy software or devices that are protecting your home network. But do you really know so that you really know where everything goes, where different apps are communicating to, what websites they're going to, are they going places they shouldn't, etc. You may not have been aware that there is a similar feature on your iOS device called App Privacy Report. And so that's our first app. I'm going to show it on my iPad. So all you need to do is go into Settings and down to Privacy and Security. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom here, almost all the way to the bottom, you'll see this thing called App Privacy Report right here. And it sits in this state until such time, because by default it's not turned on. If you want to turn it on, you just tap on Turn On App Privacy Report. And it will take a few minutes and it will start populating exactly where the different apps on your iOS device are communicating, the sites that they're going to. And I find this actually very useful because if you happen to find a misbehaving app, for instance, that is communicating somewhere you don't think it should be, that could be something you could report back to the developer. Hey, what's this all about? Or it could be just a reason to wipe the app from your system if it's not something that you want to use. So this is going to take a few minutes. So that's why I wanted to show it first, because maybe as we go through other things, it'll start populating with data that I can show you. I do have it on my phone, but let's come back to it here. So I encourage you to turn that on just to see where the different apps are going and what they're communicating with. And it can give you some real insights as to any possible potential security issues that might be happening with some of the apps, even though we sort of live in this Apple garden that's protected. So that's the first one. I know it's not very fancy and displaying a bunch of stuff right now, but it will later. So let's move on to our next app, which is called App Zapper. Now, as you know, when you drag applications into the trash, most of the time you're dragging the application, you're deleting the application, but there are lots of leftover files, preference list files, all kinds of different things that go along with that app. But if you're just dragging the app into the trash, you're not actually getting rid of all the residual files, and they'll just sit on your system and take up space potentially. So App Zapper is a very good utility, and I'll show you a couple of really nice features in here. So when you first start it up, it will just plant itself on your desktop, and you can start dragging any apps to it that you want to trash, which I'll show you in a second. So there's not a lot to it initially, right? It's just somewhere where you can drag an app. So let's take an example here. I'm going to take something like Dropbox, because I know Dropbox has a ton of files associated with it. And I'm going to drag that from my Finder right onto App Zapper here. You can see it's active, drop it, and here's what you get. So not only would you potentially be removing Dropbox, and it shows you the sizes of everything, which is really nice too, but you can see there are a bunch of support files, there's preference files, there's a cache, there's a whole bunch of things that come along with that app that will fully clean it from your system. And that's what's nice about this particular utility. So for now, I'm going to cancel because I don't want to get rid of Dropbox, even though I'm not a huge fan of it. So part of the magic here happens when you then click on this little box here with the arrow. And this little switch opens up a ton of really, really nice customization features that you can use to drill down to what exactly you want to look for on your system and then get rid of. So for instance,